Okay, I also want to talk about Lena Khan for a second. I got to interview Lena Khan, baby. That's the good news. The bad news is they screwed me. My co-hosts, Aiden and Doug, they screwed me. Look at this. I have Lena Khan tweeting out, "Thank you to the Lemonade Stand for the fun conversation. This is my dream." She followed me, and this is the photo that Aiden uses. But I want you to understand that we took a normal photo, and then we took a soy jacking photo as a backup. And they post the one where they are still smiling and I'm soy jacking. What the is this, Aiden? This is actual betrayal. Why is this the photo? There's a perfectly normal photo. And at least it would make sense if there's one where all three of us are soy jacking, but it's just me. It's so evil, dude. Aiden is so Obama pilled. He's the mastermind. He cooks this stuff up years in advance. He's getting me back for the Gavin Newsom thing. So now I have Lena Khan tweeting out a photo of me soy jacking like it's just the way I normally am. It would make so much more sense if they were doing it too. God, it's so embarrassing. Anyway, so I got screwed. However, I'm still extremely happy because this is like, you guys know if you've watched my content for a while, this is like one of my dream guests. The way that some people talk about like Bernie or AOC or Zoran, now, like for me, this is my politician that gives me hope for the longest time, because I have never seen someone until Lena Khan in those years who like had policies that I deeply agreed with, understood the value of competition, had studied like Louis Brandeis, and like, I just like the way she sees the world is so aligned with me. And she was young and not corrupt and making actual big changes. And it was like, it's so rare. And the things she was doing, like one click to cancel and non-competes, are so slam dunk positive that I thought they could make people realize the value of antitrust, of the FTC, of things the government can do that are unequivocally good. I'll be honest, I'm a huge fan. So that leads me to my next point, which is that in this interview, I'm fangirling. I'll fully admit it. I was a little bit nervous. I think I hit my stride after about 5 minutes, but like I never stopped smiling the whole interview. Like I think my questions are good. I feel good about it, but like I am obviously happy because it is a big deal. I'm just fully admit it. I'm not gonna like pretend it wasn't. For me, it's probably the politician I am most excited about in the world. I think the most. I don't know. I hope she finds a way to get back into political office or power or something, because I really am impressed. Anyway, it was an awesome guest. I had an idea the morning of the interview. So worth saying, like we all flew out the day before. There was this massive storm in New York. So all the flights into New York are delayed. So Aiden flies in first. He leaves earliest in the morning. He's delayed 2 hours. Finally gets there. He's texting us. He's like, dude, I'm stuck on the tarmac for hours. It's storming. It's raining. They can't deboard us. We're stuck. And I flew out later because I wanted to wake up later. So I'm like, haha, idiot. Should have taken the later flight, dumbass. And so I get on the plane in LA way later. And I fall asleep insta because I'm the go to falling asleep on planes. And when I wake up, I'm on the tarmac. And I'm like, oh, I'm here. That was easy. Aiden sucks. And I look out the window and it's bone dry. And I'm like, dude, I'm texting Aiden like, you said there was a storm? Bro, I'm here. It's easy. And the captain's talking. Newark, whatever. And then I'm like, all right, let me figure out what my Uber is to get to the hotel. I check my map and it's like, huh, that's weird. I refresh it again. It says I'm in Virginia. Instead of Newark, New Jersey, I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm like, wait, what the did I buy the wrong flight? But no, the captain has nonstop been talking, but I've been mishearing it. He's like, hey, yeah, we're landing in Norfolk because the storm is so bad. We have to wait on the tarmac in a different city. So I actually had to wait 2 hours on the tarmac in the wrong city. Because they couldn't fly in. So I'm stuck on there. Well, Aiden's already there. And I just have to sit there, just sit on my ass. It's you know, it's like hot in the plane. It's way, there's no food. I'm hungry. I'm waiting. Finally, we take off. We land in Newark, New Jersey. And then I have to wait 2 hours again. So by the time I get off the plane and I get to my hotel, it's 3:30 in the morning. And our interview's at 9:30. So I'm tired, dude. Doug as well. Me and Doug arrive at the same time. So me and Doug get there at 3:30 a.m. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I got no sleep. And I have 6 hours until the interview with Lena Khan. So I pass out and then I wake up. I'm nervous too. I'm excited for the interview and I'm nervous. So I wake up early. So this is all like no sleep, by the way. It's not like no sleep. I wake up early. Did Lena have to fly in? No, she's based in the area. Where'd you film the episode? We bought a studio. We rented a studio in New York. Dude, it was crazy. As we show up to the studio, they're filming an episode of Monica Lewinsky's podcast. So we get there and I have this idea. I'm like, dude, this would be really funny, but I don't know if her and her team will go for it. But I'm like, F it. We have an hour until the interview. So I leave the studio and I go to Target nearby and I buy a copy of Monopoly. And then I go and pitch it to their team where I'm like, hey, she always fights Monopolies. Would it be funny if we could film a YouTube short where we're all playing Monopoly and we ask her to play? To my crazy surprise, she goes for it and her team goes for it. Thank God. Dude, they're both like, yeah, that'd be funny. We're down. I thought for sure they're gonna be like, that's the cringiest thing you've ever asked. Oh.
Dude.
A little trip to Boardwalk.
I can't pay this.
Well, you should have thought about that freaking poor, Aiden.
Lena, you want to play with us?
It's not really my thing.
Oscar-worthy acting! Brilliant! The scene direction, the casting. Lena Khan as person who doesn't want to play Monopoly. It was peak. Dude, I got to film a Monopoly TikTok with Lena Khan. It's awesome. And then, that was one small part of it. Because I also got one of my most prized possessions in the entire world. After we filmed that, she signed it. I have a signed Monopoly board by Lena Khan. And she told me she has never signed a Monopoly board in her life. This is a one of one. This is now part of my set. I have the sickest set. Connor's charity auction. I'd rather blow my shit off smooth. This is my ultimate item. I'm not. Anyway, Lena Khan signed the Monopoly board, and then we do the interview. Again, I'm super stoked to have her there. We all prepped. I feel very good about the questions we asked. You know, sometimes we talked over each other a little bit or whatever, but one thing I do want to say, big shout out to Aiden. If you watch the interview, you know, we're asking our questions, and it's very like, ask questions, she gives answers. And then like 3 minutes in or something, Aiden makes a dumb joke, and she laughs, and then the ice is totally broken. I don't remember what he said. I don't even remember what it was, but he makes a dumb joke, and she laughed about it, and then boom. And it really like opens up the whole interview, and I really respected it. And I just want to say shout outs to Aiden. I was trying not to include him. Lena Khan specifically asked to not include Aiden, but of course Lena Khan had some great answers. And I just want to say something. If you're not going to watch the podcast, I fully understand. I want to give you a high level on like the reason I think Lena Khan and this style of thinking is so awesome. I just think there's so much evidence that competitive markets bring a huge benefit to regular people. However, her stance and mine is that you really need constant maintenance from smart, thoughtful people that understand these industries to keep the markets competitive. The way she approaches the idea of like making sure that those that have this massive lead can't ice out competitors and snowball that advantage to bully regular consumers and whatever competition they have is so important. Like the idea of a quote unquote free market does not mean one that is not managed or like, it's like the idea, I think the best way I can explain it is kind of like how basketball or football work. On the court, it is like fierce competition. And then everything around that is designed to keep that competition fair. Things like draft picks, you know, for teams that have worse performances. Things like luxury tax. Things like the second apron. All that stuff is around the game to keep the competition fierce. To make it so that there's not one overall dynasty that just buys the refs or buys every top player and never loses. Like European soccer. And I just find that Lena Khan is one of the few people who can articulately and passionately work towards that. And I think it does so much better than just putting all of the industry in the government's hands, and then also so much better than just completely unregulating it. I think it's like this whole idea that it's like a garden that you have to specifically manage to get the best outcome for people. That if you make the incentive that you have to make the better product to win, people will do that. But if you make the incentive that the best thing you have to do is just buy the politicians or do whatever, then the people will do that. So you have to regulate it. And I find that to be, I don't know, just I'm very passionate about it. And the way she studies history, you know, the way she talks about America's best years for the middle class for growing industry are like the 40s to 70s, where we had strongly enforced antitrust. It's not like we didn't have McDonald's. It's not like we didn't have GE or Ford or big industries, but they were incentivized to win through competition, not through anything else. It's just awesome. So I hope she finds her way back into politics, and it was an honor to interview her. And then on a smaller level, I think one thing that makes it easier for some people to understand is on a smaller level, Lena Khan supported things like one-click cancel, which if you don't know, the rule is so simple. It has to be as easy to cancel something as it is to sign up for it. That is a rule that everyone can get behind. All that is just a rule that makes the competition fair. That if you want to sign up for this gym or quit and go to this gym, you should be able to do it. It's a market where you can make your choices. It makes it so the way to have the best performing, most profitable gym is to make the best gym, not to make the one that has the hardest to cancel subscription. We're incentivizing the wrong thing. And so this being a big thing that she proponed, that she pushed for, and of course it's gotten blocked under this new FTC now that she's gone. This is what politicians should work on. Things like this are simple ways to make people's lives better. One thing that did get through, that's talked about in the interview, is that Ticketmaster. The idea that you can no longer hide your fees. You know, that you can like advertise, hey, this ticket will cost $70, and you click it and then it costs $140 because there's fees. You just can't do that anymore. And that is awesome because it lets you choose with full information. To make a market work, both parties have to have complete information. If you can hide it and trick people, then it's not really a free, it's not a free exchange. These kind of rules are just incredible and they help make this system function. And so, yeah, I don't know if there'll ever be a better guest for me particularly. We have some other really cool guests that are lined up. And in fact, people have reached out after that Lena Khan interview and we're pretty excited. But for me, it's such a cool guest to get as our first one because I'm a big fan. I wanted to kind of explain why. Now, one more thing I will say. Lena Khan, halfway through the interview, called NVIDIA NVIDIA. I almost snapped. I didn't work at branding at NVIDIA for 4.5 years for Lena Khan to mispronounce it. Okay, is she gonna get the brand color green wrong too? And what's crazy is she got it wrong, and then I didn't correct her, obviously, but I just said it the right way. I was like, yeah, I used to work there. I used to work at NVIDIA. And she goes, oh, cool. Anyway, NVIDIA. One of the most interesting parts of the interview is the discussion around RealPage and algorithmic pricing. She brought up something I hadn't heard about, which is basically that airlines like Delta are putting AI algorithms that are designed to track everything they can about you, cookies, browser history, whatever they can get, to charge you the maximum possible price that you'll pay. The example she uses, like if they figure out that you're headed to a funeral, for example, they might upcharge you because they know you have to get there at this time. It's crazy. We've talked about something similar in the past, like the idea of Wendy's surge pricing. You want to charge someone the maximum amount they're willing to pay individually. So if this person is more in a rush, you charge them more. If this person, it's not like one price for all. It's like based on how desperate you are, we can charge you more. That shit's spooky. That shit's very spooky. How would you ever stop that? I mean, you could stop it very easily with a well-funded, well-supported FTC that makes, single customer pricing that has to be the same across all customers. You can't algorithmically choose a price. MFers don't think I'll straight up skip the funeral. Well, that was the joke we made on the pod, which is that like, you're gonna have to start sending emails to everyone saying, I don't even care about that person. So the algorithm thinks you don't care, so you can get a cheaper price to the funeral. You have to constantly be talking shit about your dead mom so that you can get the cheaper flight. DoorDash? I think Uber Eats does this for me. Uber Eats probably has me flagged as a streamer. I swear to God. I think Uber Eats has a flag that I'm a streamer on the back end and they know they can charge me anything. They have a special tag and they can charge me whatever they'll put any number there and they know I'm gonna click it. I'm ordering a burrito, $98. I'm a pay pig because there's just no way. There's no way that their business can be functional at these prices. I obviously haven't spent $98 on a burrito, but let me just see. Again, I've very drastically cut back my Uber Eats because it was getting disgusting. But okay, let's say Chipotle burrito. Last time I ordered that, what did it cost me? No fucking way. No fucking way. I ordered a burrito bowl for me, a burrito bowl for Ari, and a burrito bowl for our guest. 3 burrito bowls. And I added chips and guac. $102. That is averaging to $33 a burrito. $102. That's disgusting. That's with tip, right? Okay, that's after tip, but still, that's disgusting. You paid that? I'm telling you the honest truth. They have me tagged as a pay pig. I hope you're ashamed. I am actually. Every time I see this, I'm ashamed. That's why I've stopped. It was a few months ago where I just was scrolling through the costs and I was like, dude, this is so stupid. This is how I trick myself every time. I was like, if I took all this that I'm spending and put it into gold, it would be worth so much. And I was like, damn, I am right. And that's when I stopped doing it. I just started saving the Uber Eats money. I'm a League of Legends player from ASU, dude. I could eat 1 box of Triscuits and that's my whole day. I don't need any food. I don't want food. And I was just doing it because I wasn't looking at the number. Anything else I want to say about Lena Khan other than that it was just a delight. I appreciate that she did that. It was really cool. The interview was everything we hoped. We were all really excited. I think we went out to dinner afterwards and me, Aiden, and Doug were all cheesing. I think especially me and Aiden. Aiden told me before we started the show that that was his dream. Not to interview Lena Khan, but to get like a real political guest. I think Aiden's always wanted to have like a more serious discussion with somebody real, and he got to do that, and he was very happy. Yeah, it was cool. It was just a good time. I really enjoyed it.